Happy day students. Welcome back to part 3 video of chapter 1 on equality. Issues of equality in other democracies. So here we are going to discuss few examples on issues of equality as experienced in other countries. Not in India is the only democratic country that faces these inequality issues. The struggle for equality continues in other democratic countries as well. That's what we started off with. Alright, shall we see one example? Yes. So here is an example of an issue of equality faced in another democratic country. Example, USA, where the African Americans faced greater issues. Africans whose ancestors were slaves who were brought from Africa as slaves large in numbers to America were asked to be treated largely unequal. There was a movement in late 1950s to push equal rights for both Africans equal to Americans, but denied equality through law even. But one incident that created the big change was by Rosa Parks, who is an African American. It was a bus incident. Ready to know what actually happened? Yes. So, this issue of African American existed very much in America as well. How? So, here it goes. Rosa Parks was very tired from a long day at work. She refused to give up her seat on a bus to a white man. Now you may have a question, why should she give up her seat to a white man? That was the unsaid rule. Yes, Africans cannot sit in front of Americans. So she had to give up her seat. But she refused. You know what she did? Yes, her refusal to give up the seat started a huge agitation against the unequal ways in which African Americans were treated all the days, and which came to be known as civil rights movement, which happened to execute the act, the Civil Rights Act of 1964. This says or clearly describes the prohibition of discrimination on the basis of race. Yes, what Rosa Parks experienced was actually a clear discrimination on the basis of race or national origin. It also stated that all schools would be open to African American children and that they would no longer have to attend separate schools specially set up for the Africans. See how outrageous it is, right? A majority of African Americans continue to be among the poorest in the country. Most African American children can only afford to attend government schools because that's the only place where they get fewer facilities, poorly qualified teachers as compared to white students. All this changed upside down after the passing of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So this is one example of the issues of equality that had happened in other democracies as well. Here is the challenge of democracy. What is the challenge? All right. Having said all about what is democracy, what happens in democracy, what are the key components of democracy, also we saw the very well existence of people being treated unequally. Right here in most of the democratic countries, there comes the challenge of sustaining the democracy. No country explained completely how democracy can be carried forward. It has to be started from the hearts and souls of the communities, individuals trying to expand the idea of democracy. Only then there will be a greater recognition of equality to spread among the citizens. Struggle for recognition of all persons equal and their dignity maintained is the topmost issue. So here what you see is Article 15. Students, I hope you remember we learnt that the government plays a very important role in putting up laws, creating schemes, programs to help the deprived communities to come up in their lives. So, by that way, the government tries to emphasize the thought of equality among the people. How does the government ensure that? Do you have any idea? Yes, very good. Government ensures the practice of equality by passing laws, introducing new schemes, and ensuring that both laws and the schemes are being executed properly and it actually benefits the deprived people. So as a part of this practice, government had passed through the Constitution of India article number 15, which explains the state shall not discriminate against any citizen on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any of them. No citizen shall, on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any of them, be subject to any disability, liability, restriction, or condition with regard to access to shops, public restaurants, hotels, and places of public entertainment, or the use of wells, tanks, bathing huts, roads, and places of public resort maintained wholly or partly out of state funds or dedicated to the use of the general public. So this is the excerpt from Article 15 of the Indian Constitution. I hope this chapter benefited you all in understanding what is democracy in a democratic country, what are the key components of democratic government, and we also saw the real incidents of experiences of people from our own India, how unequally they were treated, and also outside India, how the democracy exists. And to end with, we saw what Article 15 explains to us. I hope you liked this video. Thank you. Have a nice day.